this man of God to prepare and to prepare for the generation like this, you need to go to that website and get it. Now, I see another one here. It says, why are you not married?
Wow, that's
why
a good one.
Why are you not married?
That's a good one. Now, this book came as a result of 6 years of research. When I started ministering to singles about 12, 13 years ago, we started having thousands of people gathered in the National Stadium back in Africa. And then people come, and you see a lot of people 30, 35, some of them 38, 40. They're not married. And from your own point of view, you were like, this person is supposed to be married. They're serving God, they've got a good job, they have a good attitude and lifestyle. So as far as you're concerned, why are they not married? So I decided to go on the research to really find out, why is it that there are a lot of people that are of marriageable age and they are still not married? And I said marriageable age in the sense that some people are not married because they don't believe they are ripe enough, or they don't believe it's time for them to be married. Okay. But I'm talking of those that are ready to be married and no one is coming. Why? So I went into this research, and after 6 years, this book came out. So in this book, I listed out a lot of reasons why people are not married. And by the time you go through this book, one of the things I dealt with first is to answer the big question.
And what is that?
Must everybody marry?
Must everybody marry?
Yes, it's marriage for everyone.
And I'm sure somebody's out there asking the same question.
Yes, because there are people that feel like, oh, well, if I'm not getting anybody to get married to me, nobody's coming to me. Maybe God does not want me to get married.
So it's not a sin to be single?
It's not a sin to be single, because singleness is not a sin. Singleness is not a curse. It's not a disease. It's not a problem. It's just a necessary stage and state of life that everyone must attain to on the journey of life.
So, man of God, why will people go and commit suicide because they are not married?
Yeah, because they're frustrated, they're lonely, because they have not been able to become single. You see, singleness is wholeness. I say a lot of people are not whole, so they are not single. They may be unmarried, but that doesn't mean that they are single. Because see, most of the time when we use the word single, we confuse singleness with being unmarried. To be single has nothing to do with being unmarried. Okay, let's do what an opposite. White.
Black.
Up.
Down.
In.
Out.
Married. Unmarried. You see, so, so singleness is not the opposite of marriage.
Okay.
It's unmarried. So if you are unmarried, you are supposed to be single. If you are married, you are supposed to be single. Singleness now being a state of life, a state of wholeness, a state of maturity where you are complete. And when people attain to that stage of singleness, they will not commit suicide. When you see people commit suicide because they don't have husband, it's because they are not single. They are not whole. It's lack of wholeness.
Man of God, we are talking about common sense for relational success.
Yeah.
And I'm excited at the point where we are right now, because many people out there, they have questions that need answers. In fact, there are more questions than answers out there. And two of these books that you have here, one says 101 Answers for Singles, another one says 101 Wisdom for Singles. Now, let me tell you, if you're out there and you have a singles ministry, you need materials to bless your singles in your ministry. These are the materials that you need to get. 101 Answers for Singles, 101 Wisdom for Singles. How can I get them? You go to commonsenseonline.org. commonsenseonline.org. I'm going to ask the man of God to talk about this, because we can definitely go through 101 questions. But if he's able to pick 1 or 2 questions and answer it for us today, I'm sure you're going to be blessed. As you're sitting right there, the Lord is coming to bless you right now.
Okay, now you see, these 2 books, as a matter of fact, this one, 101 Wisdom for Single, is a bestseller. It's sold over 1 million copies already, all over the world. And that's why we're so excited bringing it into the American market in a bigger scale, so that people can begin to benefit from it, because all over Africa, all over Europe, and even in some parts of the US, people have been enjoying the benefit of this book in the last few years. Now, this 101 Answers for Singles, having run a singles ministry, by the grace of God, we have the largest singles ministry in Africa.
Amen.
God has granted us this grace to run the largest singles ministry in Africa for over a decade. And all over the world, people have been able to benefit, and people ask us questions. And I discovered that every week we get emails, we get phone calls, I've got this question, I've got that question. So I decided to come up with all these questions and create 101 model questions.
Okay.
Because most of the time, when you have a question and answer session, you realize that even though they are asking it in different ways, sometimes there are about 6 to 7 questions that are the same question. But coming from different angles. Those kind of model questions have been answered. For instance, how do I know when I am ripe for a relationship? How can I know that I am really loved? This guy says he loves me. He tells me I'm the sugar in his tea, I'm the love of his life, I make his heart beat faster. But how do I know he's real? Is it okay to have sex before marriage? Because I love him, we're going to get married and we feel close and we want to have each other. Is it okay? How do I start off a relationship? Can a lady propose to a man? If I love him and it's not coming, can I go to him and say, guy, you know what, I like you?
Right.
And then how can I differentiate between love and lust and infatuation? Now, is age difference a problem? Does it matter? Cultural issue? Now, these are all questions that are answered here. For instance, let me answer one. How do I know when I'm ripe for a relationship?
Okay.
Now, you are not ripe for a relationship if you are not matured. Now, question, what do you mean by maturity? Because see, most of the time, a lot of people think that they are matured. But you see, maturity does not come with age. It comes with the ability to handle responsibility.
Amen.
So a lot of people, especially teenagers, if you're a teenager, teenage boy, teenage girl listening to me right now, you see, one of the things you need to understand is that you are not matured enough to handle some of the things you think you are matured enough to handle. That's one of the challenges of the stage of life you are in. A teenager is someone that is a child that wants to behave like an adult. That's what a teenager is. You're a child, yet you want to behave like an adult. But you see, the problem now is you want to enjoy what adults enjoy, but when the responsibility comes, you are not ready to handle the responsibility that adults handle. That's why we have teenage pregnancy everywhere. Teenagers are having sex, they're sleeping around, and at the end of the day, when pregnancy comes, they're like, oh, I want to go to school, I'm not going to go to school no more, and then they start talking abortion. Then we'll go to another trouble again. Right. So now, how do I know when I'm ripe enough for marriage? When you are matured. How do I know when I'm matured? It has nothing to do with age. It has everything to do with the ability to handle responsibility. So that's what you want to go into. Do you have the emotional power? Can you handle the emotional responsibility? Can you handle the financial responsibility? Can you handle the spiritual responsibility? So I give you 7 ingredients of maturity.
Okay.
Number 1, spiritual.
Spiritual.
Number 2, mental. Number 3, social. Number 4, physical. Number 5, emotional. Number 6, financial. Number 7, moral. Now, these are 7 ingredients of maturity. In order for you to say you are matured, you must be spiritually matured, mentally matured, socially matured, physically matured, emotionally matured, morally matured, and financially matured. And when you have all these 7 areas of maturity, then you will now say you are ripe enough for a relationship. Amen. And you don't get to that kind of maturity at the age of 16.
Man of God, I believe that answer have helped somebody right now.
Yes, I believe so too.
I believe so. And I see it's also in this book that it contains over 100 prayer points.
Yes.
Now, you can use this for singles prayer fellowship.
Yeah.
You have a prayer group that are singles. There are questions there, and there are prayer points that will help you.
Because some of these things are spiritual.
Yes.
For instance, in the book, Why Are You Not Married?
Yes.
I dealt with a lot of issues. Because, see, one of the things I dealt with also is to help people to understand the concept of delay. Because a lot of people face delay. But in life, there are different kinds of delay. There are self-imposed delays, things that people bring upon themselves as a result of their irresponsibility and as a result of some things they have done. There are circumstantial delays, delay that come as a result of situations and circumstances that are beyond your control. You have been in a relationship with a guy for 7 years, you're getting ready for marriage, all of a sudden, the guy develops cold feet, he says he's no more interested, and he leaves you. You go through that for 7 years, minus 7 years from your life. You discover you spend so much time. Then you get into the next relationship. 3 years down the line, you're planning for marriage, and then he impregnates your best friend. You come out of that again. Most of the time, we keep saying these guys are devils. These ladies are devils, but it's the devil that wants to destroy your own life by keeping you single when you're supposed to be having a fulfilling relationship. Amen. So some of these things need to be prayed about. And then there is what I call satanic delay. And then there is divine delay. Amen. Delay as a result of God taking you through a process. And the satanic delay is when the devil decides to stop God's plan for your life. And that's why we have this prayer point, so that you can pray on your own as a single fellowship, in home cell groups, in home fellowships, in home churches. You can pray and then touch heaven so that heaven can come.
Amen. Praise
and
the name
then
of the Lord.
Help somebody out.
Now, maybe you're asking yourself, how do I get these materials? All you need to do is go to commonsensonline.org. commonsensonline.org. You will see all these materials there. You see a preview of each material, of what it contains, what the Lord have written through this man of God. I'm telling you, they are inspirational, they are motivational, they are powerful. They are deliverance capsules. You need deliverance capsules. You need to go through these books, and you will get this that will set you free, that will make you free completely and permanently. Man of God, I'm so glad to be on the set with you today.
Yeah,
and
nice
these materials are so wonderful. And the last one here that we're going to talk about in this episode I believe this is your very first book.
Yeah, it's the first book